Hey guys, it's Dan here, back again with another new video for you guys. Today I'm back with another recent pickups video covering everything I picked up in the month of November. I picked up a nice chunk of stuff. Most of it's a lot of modern kind of current stuff, and I also have some really exciting kind of stuff for my channel. In particular, one item I've been wanting for a very long time, and I can finally kind of move forward with my channel and take a step forward, and that's going to kind of lead into a little bit of a channel update towards the end. I'm going to say that towards the end because I know some people don't care about channel updates, so I don't want to bore you guys right off the bat with a channel update. So let's just jump into some of my pickups. Okay, and the first game I have here is actually an interesting little DS kind of hidden gem that I actually won as a giveaway prize from my buddy PeteDorr. So basically how this works is almost half a year ago now, so almost like 6 months now, I actually won this as a giveaway from PeteDorr for like a subscriber contest giveaway, because a while back, almost half a year ago now, Pete actually got his subscriber button on Twitch, which is pretty huge. Anyone who follows Twitch knows that it's not easy to get a subscriber button, and it's not just given out very easily. But how it works is you pay a certain amount a month, you subscribe basically to support the streamer or whatever, and you usually get access to certain exclusive sub-only emotes, which Pete's sub-only emotes are so good. I love the door face. I've been using that religiously now for like half a year now, various streams and all that. It's so good. I love that emote so much. But you have like exclusive emotes, and then certain streamers might do like exclusive stuff for their subs and all that. And he decided to celebrate, and like to celebrate he wanted to do like a kind of giveaway and give away a DS game that no one really had. So we settled on this game, which was Lock's Quest for the DS. Lock's Quest is an interesting little kind of hidden gem for the DS. It's basically like a kind of unique hybrid game. It's like a hybrid between like a tower defense game and like an RPG or something. It has like RPG elements, but then it's like a tower defense game. Really interesting little game. So thanks again to PeteDorr for this game and winning it. And next I have a Black Friday purchase. So I purchased this on Black Friday for about 20 bucks, which I thought was a really good price for it, because I'd always been interested in this game. And in general, I'm not the biggest fan of the Souls series. I haven't played Dark Souls 1 or 2, but I did play Demon Souls, and I really didn't care for Demon Souls at all. When this game came out, it really interested me because, one, the environmental design and the overall aesthetic presentation of it, I thought it was super cool looking, and it just looked like it was significantly more refined than the various other Souls games and stuff like that. And I'm actually very surprised how much I'm enjoying this game. I went into this game honestly not expecting to enjoy it. I thought I'd play it for a bit and then just get frustrated and never come back to it. But that is Bloodborne, and I've actually been pretty obsessed with Bloodborne. I've been pretty addicted to it. Bloodborne is a From Software game, obviously responsible for the Souls series and now this. And Bloodborne, if you don't know somehow, it's like a brutally hard action kind of RPG game. Punishing beyond belief. The enemies are just absurd and their patterns and stuff like that. It requires a good amount of strategy and also just precision timing and stuff like that. But I'm absolutely enjoying it. I like the idea of like being able to switch between your weapons, so being able to switch between like a longer weapon and then like a dual wielding like a gun or like whatever your secondary weapon is. I love the environmental design. I think all the creatures and like this kind of like weird dystopian like Victorian era setting with like all these weird creatures is super cool looking and really interesting. I mean, I'm only basing this off playing Demon Souls, but from Demon Souls to this is a significant jump. It's so much more refined than I was expecting. The combat feels right. The combat feels very satisfying too. It's just a very satisfying game to play when you're doing well. And when you die, you usually know why you died and stuff like that. It's just incredibly challenging, but it looks really pretty, and it's just a blast to play. I don't know, there's something about it where, you know, the more you start to play these levels, you start to learn the patterns of enemies, you start to learn where all the enemies are located, and they start to get better, just progressively better, and it's really rewarding game. It's challenging, but it's so rewarding when you start progressing. It's a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to keep playing this. I'm surprised by how much I'm enjoying Bloodborne, but awesome game. And next we have a Wii U game I was really interested in ever since I heard about it way back in the day, and heard that Yuji Naka was going to be associated with it in his studio Probe. And in general, when I saw it way back in the day, it just looked like a video game that really harkened the days when like classic kind of adventure, 3D adventure games were all the rage and very popular. But that is Rodea the Sky Soldier. This was published by NIS America, so we have a beautiful NIS America limited edition here. So I've done an unboxing on this, of course, so you can check that out to learn more about all the wonderful contents within this beautiful set. But moving on to the game. Moving on to the game itself, we have Rodea the Sky Soldier here. I decided to get the Wii U version, but it's also available for the 3DS. But the cool thing about first print copies of the Wii U version is it actually comes with the original Wii copy of the game, and I'm really thankful it does, because I can tell you right now, I'm gonna cut to the chase. The only way to play Rodea truthfully and faithfully, honestly, in my opinion, with the best controls possible, and to really understand why this game is really cool and just a really classic kind of traditional kind of adventure game, is to play the original Wii version. That in my mind is like the only way to experience this game. After playing both versions, I played both versions, and I can honestly say playing the Wii U and Wii version are like playing two completely different games. There's so much stuff different and so many changes and all that, and honestly not for the better in the case of the Wii U version. But like I mentioned before, Rodea the Sky Soldier is a really traditional, classic, kind of feeling adventure kind of flying game. You play as this character Rodea, who has this ability to kind of go around flying, and it also has like a machine gun so you can shoot enemies. You also have a boost attack that you can use to kind of spin and attack enemies, and you also get some of these other items that help you kind of get through the levels and stuff like that. And it's just a very traditional kind of adventure kind of game. You have stuff to kind of collectibles to find and whatnot, and go around collecting stuff, fighting enemies, and then eventually fighting the boss after a certain amount of levels. Some of the boss fights are actually really cool, like really epic, big boss fights, like Shadow of the Colossus type stuff. And I was, like I said, I was really excited for this game, and I played the Wii U version first because I honestly thought that'd be the best way to play it, and boy was I wrong. It does look nice and all, but I feel like some of the textures honestly look like they were just taken from the original Wii version. They didn't look like they actually did too much to kind of visually upscale the game. And the big issue with the Wii U version is honestly the controls. The controls are so just abysmal, honestly. Half the time I felt like I was fighting the auto-aiming, and in the beginning Rodea feels very sluggish and slow, and you just kind of expect them to move faster. Your machine gun, you can only fire like a couple shots before it takes forever to refill. Honestly, the original Wii version, to talk about the original Wii version now, complete polar opposite, completely different game. Honestly, they changed so much, and playing both versions I could see they changed a lot from the original Wii version to the Wii U version. First of all, the Wii U version had like these tacked on RPG elements, and I really didn't care for that, because you had to kind of like upgrade Rodea to make his abilities better and for him to go faster and stuff like that. And what that does is, like I mentioned before, that kind of makes you feel very sluggish and slow in the beginning. But the original Wii version, there's no RPG-like elements, so that was definitely something they tacked on for the Wii U version. There's no RPG-like elements, so Rodea in the original Wii version is super fast, because in the Wii U version you have like this weird limit to like how much you can fly, and you have to like touch something or like hit an enemy to kind of get your gauge going again so you can keep flying. So there's a limit to like how much you can fly in the Wii U version. Original Wii version, you can fly as much as you want. You can use your boost attack. Your boost attack is super awesome because there's no limit to it. You can just start it and just go zooming across the environment super quick. The boost attack is awesome. It's kind of limited in the Wii U version. And then your machine gun's like totally unlimited in the original Wii version. But the most important thing is using the Wiimote feels so right for this game. It's just like controls beautifully with the Wiimote. You can select what you want to do perfectly, and it just feels, when you play it, it feels like a game that was designed for the Wii in mind. It feels like that's the only way to play it. And when you play the Wii version, it's just a super fun kind of adventure game that's really unique and just really classic feeling, and controls beautifully with the Wiimote. After playing the original Wii version, that in my eyes is the only way to play this game. It's a really kind of unique little game. It's a lot of fun. And next we have a PS Vita music rhythm game that I was really looking forward to checking out, because I'm a big fan of the DJ Max series, and this game is considered a spiritual successor to the DJ Max series, so I was really looking forward to this. And that is Super Beast Sonic. This is the Super Beast Sonic, the exclusive limited edition. There's another one called the Exotic limited edition, but I've done an unboxing on this limited edition, so you can check that out if you want to learn more about the contents. Really simple, kind of minimalist style, but just a really sophisticated and clean looking limited edition. But moving on to the game itself. So Super Beast Sonic, like I mentioned before, is considered a spiritual successor to the DJ Max series. I've been a big fan of the DJ Max series, which is actually a Korean developed music rhythm game series. A lot of fun, so you have a lot of various kinds of music to play. Like there's tons of music in these games. Like there's a huge track listing, song listing, and it covers all kinds of genres, from like classical music to like heavy trance, electronic, pop. Like it's all kind of in here. So it's really fun to play these games because there's a lot of variety to the music. And Super Beast Sonic plays like a very traditional kind of music rhythm game, almost kind of similar to Persona 4 Dancing All Night actually, with the control scheme. So you use the buttons, the outer buttons of the PS Vita or PlayStation controller. So what is it? Down, left up, and then triangle, circle, X. I always forget the layout. And so you use the outer buttons to hit these notes as they're coming from like the middle center of the screen outward like this. And so you hit them and you time them. There's various notes you have to hit, like hold notes. There's like scratch notes kind of things where you have to like flick them in a certain direction and all that to hit them. And then there's these other notes where you have to hit like the bumpers or whatever, the L and R. And that's really interesting. And you can also play with the touchscreen too, but I prefer, you know, pad layout, the controller type of layout. But man, is this game challenging. Like some of these later songs on like the higher difficulties are like ridiculous. So there's like multiple difficulties to choose from, and like you try some of these later songs on some of the hardest difficulties, they are almost impossible. Like unless you're playing this game like a lot, and I mean a lot, you probably won't be able to clear some of the later songs on the higher difficulties on this game. So in that regards, it's actually a really challenging music rhythm game. Combo is an important thing in like music rhythm games because that like affects your score and all that, how well you're doing and how many notes you're hitting in a row. But what's cool, and I've really never seen this done in any music rhythm game before, is your combo is continuous, and I mean continuous. So like if you play a song perfectly, say it has 400 notes, and your combo carries over into the next song. So you'll start your combo in the next song from like 400 notes, and it keeps going up and up for as long as you can perfectly play. So you can get like combos of like thousands and thousands if you just play perfectly for a very long time. And I think that's really interesting because that makes the game a little bit more nerve-wracking when you have like a really long combo going on. I think the longest combo I had was like 3,000 or 4,000. Very fun music rhythm game. Big fan of DJ Max series, so I had to get this game. But if you're looking for a fun music rhythm game on the PS Vita, definitely check out Super Beast Sonic. And lastly, to wrap up the game pickups, we have some 3DS games here. And the main 3DS game I've been playing, and a lot of people have been playing and picked up, is Yokai Watch for the 3DS. I was really looking forward to this because one, I'm a big fan of Level 5. I love Level 5, and I'm also a big fan of Pokemon. So this is kind of like a... like people are obviously going to compare it to Pokemon. Like anything where you're like collecting creatures and stuff like that, it's instantly going to get compared to Pokemon, let's be honest. So it's a very Pokemon-esque game, but I would say that's actually more lenient towards the RPG side. It's like heavy influence from like traditional kind of RPG stuff, so it's a little more RPG than Pokemon. Pokemon's still an RPG, but there's more RPG stuff in here. So like you play as this kid basically, and he's, you know, a traditional kind of, you know, Poindexter kid. And he's a traditional kid living in this... I like the town, first of all. The town's basically like a recreation of like modern day kind of Japan and all that, so it feels like you're just exploring Japan. And he's just your traditional kid who stumbles upon this weird kind of capsule machine in the forest and all that, and then he gets this kind of first ever yokai, and he starts to learn about yokai and stuff like that. And yokai are interesting because they're like these creatures that you can collect, but they're hidden all throughout the environment, and you gotta like search out for them in every little nook and cranny. They're hiding everywhere. You have this meter which kind of shows you like when you're close to a yokai. But it's cool because there's a little bit more story there. I'm interested in the fact that like yokais are affecting people and stuff like that, so not everyone can see the yokais. So it's interesting because certain yokais are affecting people and all that. So there might be like a tattletale yokai where someone just can't keep their mouth shut and all that, so it's affecting them. It's a very lighthearted, charming kind of game, so you're not gonna get some super epic, like huge branching story or something like that. It's just a charming, kind of lighthearted, traditional kind of story about these kind of creatures affecting various people in different ways, and this kind of evil kind of stuff going on later at night and stuff like that. But it's a really charming game, but it's more RPG-like because you can do side quests and stuff like that. There's plenty of side quests to do, plenty of areas to explore, and little dungeons here and there. So you can do a lot of exploring, and the yokai battling is really interesting. It's like kind of an auto battler. It plays itself, but like you're managing, you know, charging up special moves, or you're managing swapping your yokais on like this kind of cycle. And it's really interesting because there's some strategy to how you lay out your yokai and then flipping them in and out of battle and just trying to juggle all this stuff that's going on. It's really interesting. It's a very lighthearted, charming game if you're a fan of like Pokemon stuff, or you're a fan of like a nice little lighthearted, heartwarming kind of like RPG experience. Definitely check out Yokai Watch. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And really quick, I want to mention the other 3DS game I picked up, but unfortunately I haven't had time to play yet, but I'm actually really looking forward to playing this because I'm actually surprised. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this game, and that actually kind of took me by surprise. But that's Stella Glow. It's a really beautiful, again, awesome first print kind of launch edition from Atlas. And like I mentioned before, Atlas has really stepped up their game with the first print, you know, copies of the games now. This includes a soundtrack CD, a charm, and a like really cool looking cloth poster. So Stella Glow, if you don't know what it is, it's a strategy RPG, kind of a very traditional looking strategy RPG. And the big thing about this game, and definitely why I had to support this game, is it's actually the very last game from Image Epoch. Image Epoch is an RPG kind of studio. They made a lot of RPGs that didn't get a whole lot of credit, and they went bankrupt, and this was the last game they ever did. But Image Epoch was a really interesting company. I really appreciated them for what they did. Not all of their games came out here, so like a majority of their games stayed in Japan, and then some came out here, and when they came out here, they didn't get that much credit they deserved. No one really bought their games, and like eventually they went bankrupt. So that's why when you see me pick up games sometimes and I'm not like playing them right away and all that, it's this bigger idea for me that I need to support the companies I care about, because you honestly never know the financial situations of companies and how much longer they can be around. So again, I appreciate Image Epoch for everything they did. My favorite series from Image Epoch was Luminous Arc. Luminous Arc was a really awesome strategy RPG series on the DS, very traditional, and this is why I'm super interested in this, because this totally gives me vibes of like Luminous Arc. But definitely really looking forward to checking this out sometime. So that's Stella Glow. And that's going to do, guys, for all the games I picked up in November. But I want to end with a kind of mini channel update with a last pickup that's related to my channel. And this is for my channel. I've been wanting this and saving up for this for a while. I've been looking out for this. It's just one of those things that I really wanted to get a good deal on it. I want to get a good price. But this thing is still surprisingly expensive. And even from new to used, you know how there's sometimes a discrepancy in price from like new and then you get a deal, maybe a good deal if you buy used. Not with this item. There's actually not a big difference from new and used prices. And so I want to give a big shout out to Cody, aka Don Raiden. He's a old school YouTuber, as I like to call it, and he doesn't make videos anymore. But he was really awesome when he did make videos, and he was also a part of this older kind of podcast called the Average Gamer Show. I remember that. I definitely remember that. It takes me back thinking about that kind of stuff. But I basically sent out a tweet saying, like, before Black Friday, if anyone saw a good deal on an Elgato game capture device, please let me know. And I sent that tweet out, honestly not expecting a response. And then go figure, the beautiful part of this community that we always are looking out for each other and have each other's back. Cody like messaged me or like responded to my tweet like, hey man, I got a barely used one. I used it like 5 times. If you're interested, we can talk about a price and work things out. And we definitely did. I got this for a really awesome price. So again, thank you for this, because this is huge for my channel. But that's finally an Elgato Game Capture HD60. Honestly, the best capture device on the market right now, besides, or at least for external capture device. For an external one, this is pretty much the best one on the market. It captures 60 frames per second, 1080p, and as long as you can output it to HDMI, it can capture everything. So this is an important part for my channel, honestly. The big thing is, the reason why I've been doing so many like recent pickups and unboxings is because that's kind of all I wanted to do, and that's kind of all I could do, because I could have done other videos. I wanted to keep going with some of my video series, but in the back of my mind, I was like, I want to provide the best quality possible. And now I can do that. And now I honestly have no excuse to be doing some of the kinds of videos I've been wanting to do for a long time. So that leads me to this kind of little channel update. So basically with this bad boy now, I'm going to be starting to go back to video series types of videos. So I'm going to put a huge emphasis on odds and ends. I have a lot of odds and ends in the works. I've been working on a lot of stuff recently. So I'm going to put a heavy emphasis on returning to video series, covering video series, covering and reviewing just kinds of old school classic games, capturing everything, because I can capture everything right now. I have an upscaler to capture retro consoles on this bad boy. I have another converter for capturing like stuff with components. So like I've been buying it, and I just haven't been showing this stuff, but I've been buying all this stuff to kind of prepare for this. But it's finally happening, and I'm going to be doing some really cool videos hopefully in the future here, getting back to classic kind of nostalgic Dan video series and talking about really obscure games and newer stuff and all that. But something's got to give, right? There's got to be a catch. And so for me, the catch right now is I'm going to put unboxings on hiatus. I just can't do unboxings anymore, and while trying to do the kind of videos I want, it takes away from the time I need for those videos. So that's pretty much it though. Look forward to really interesting growth of my channel and different kinds of videos coming soon. Okay guys, so that pretty much do for my recent pickups for the month of November. A lot of stuff, and I had a lot of thoughts on these games, so I apologize for the length of this video, but I played a lot of these games. I had a lot of thoughts to give, plus the little channel update with the awesome Elgato HD60. So looking forward to putting that bad boy to heavy use and doing a lot of videos I've been wanting to do for a very long time. But as always, be sure to let me know what you guys picked up in the month of November. Always looking forward to hearing that, or what you guys are playing. But until next time, please take it easy, guys. Bye, guys.